Hey guys, welcome back to Outside the Box with Lala. How are you guys doing? So today I finally got this topic on record. Listen, the first time I did this topic, it was definitely amazing. I had 5 guest speakers. Everything they had to say was so important. Unfortunately, I dropped the ball. I thought I was recording, but I didn't. So I must do it again. So today is the day I was able to do it. So this time I was blessed with 1 guest speaker, Richard James. You can call him Rich James. And I was blessed that he was able to have the conversation with me. Unfortunately, the other guest speaker were not able to make it. But hey, join in the conversation. You will not regret it. Richard have a lot of amazing information that we can all learn from. Again, guys, welcome back to Outside the Box with Lala. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment.
Okay, well, we're going to continue. Let's hope the other people can actually come on. I also want to do another Zoom about mental health. And I know we just passed the month, but I feel like it's so important, especially now. We're seeing how this crazy world is going, and how people, let's just say, this conversation we must talk about. We can't get around it. You know, people who committed suicide, to people who had like the massive shooting. It's a lot. And I would love for you guys to be part of this, the next one that we're doing, because it's very, very important. And I'm so sorry that we passed the month. But just because we passed it doesn't mean that we can't talk about it. We have to talk about it. It's very important. So this topic, I'm hoping other people can jump on. I just hope. But this topic that we're talking about is violence against men. And I am sorry again that it didn't record it, because a lot of my guest speakers has like very important message, and but everything happened for its own reason. But I really want to talk about this topic because this is a taboo topic. A lot of people don't like to talk about more empathy when it comes to violence towards men. And I feel like because the situation has been ignored, people have been crying out in silence. And I want to start the conversation. Okay? And believe it or not, guys, TikTok is very famous. Things that you feel like people would not talk about, it's on TikTok. And one of the issue was this guy actually admitted to the shade room, but he talked about how he was dealing with a narcissist. And he called his ex-girlfriend a narcissist. So he went in and talked about how she's manipulated. He had bite marks from her and everything. And she even put it out there that she had HIV. I think it's Vlad, one of the guest speakers that had sent it to me. She said that she had HIV. After she said she had HIV, it was a video and it showed that she was like, "I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill myself." It was really like just like abuse. And I feel like he didn't get the help because people did not took him seriously. So he went on TikTok, I believe, and he posted all the messages and everything. So my question is, why is it so hard for men to talk about it? Why is it so hard that men don't get the same attention when it comes to abuse as women? Richard, I guess I'm about to ask you. Because everybody was going to come on.
Awesome. So the first thing is, this just, my opinion, I believe, as men, we are always taught to, of course, man up, use those phrases, and we are the provider for those who have families, and we were just taught to be quote unquote hard, don't say much, don't whatever stays in his house, we're just using all those, growing up using all those things in our heads. So now that we become adults, a lot of men feel like I can handle it myself, until, prime example of what you just said, until you're crying for help using all types of other platforms when you could just went and seek professional help, or talk to a family or a friend. You know what I'm saying? So just to put it on in a nutshell, I believe the fact that it's a learned behavior for men to hold stuff in until you can't hold it in no more.
Yeah. So how can we break those chain? Like how do we because it needs to be so this is how I feel. If you holding things in for so long, and you're right, that's how society, men have to be strong. They have to deal with a lot, but they're still human. They're still human beings. I don't care who you are. If you cut anybody, they're gonna bleed. So how do they seek the help? How do we break those chains? How do we, because I hear what you're saying, and it's wrong. It is, but you're right. That's the way the world looks. Like, you're a man. You're supposed to provide. You're supposed to be strong. You're supposed to do this and that. But if you're carrying all those burdens on you, how do you release? Because you can snap.
Yes.
You can snap. And some men do snap.
Now it's a mental issue.
Yeah, now it's a mental issue, which is the next one. And
to break it, I think one of the first steps to break it is, as men, we just got to acknowledge that we hurt, we can cry. We just got to, let go of those things we were taught. Like, men shouldn't cry and we shouldn't carry out. Let's just go back to biblical form. I like to always go back there. God made a help. He made a help for us, which was a woman. So with that being said, it's like we can't do everything on our own. That's something that we were taught. Society taught us that, the world taught us that, and predominantly Black men in general, we always is a target. So it goes back to really acknowledging one another's strengths and also our weaknesses, because we have them. Now your bro might be a father, so he might have more input, but like, I don't have kids yet, but I have nieces and nephews, and I always tell, if I see my brother or my sister like hitting their child or just chastising them, which is the right thing to do, I'll be the uncle, be like, no, like, don't say that. Like, you shouldn't do that, because that child, because we all can agree. We remember things that our parents told us that's in our mind. And now that we're older now, you'd be like, that was right, but it wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? So it starts from childhood, and that, I know we're going to lead towards that. But but just to answer your question, I truly believe we just got to acknowledge that it's okay to seek help. Predominantly men, and then also just in the Black community. Yep. It's okay to seek help. It's no embarrassment. We are human, like you said. We all bleed, and we all have feelings. So it's okay. It's okay. We gotta acknowledge that. Acknowledge that first to break the cycle.
And you talked about men are afraid to talk about, the trauma, the abuse, and this and that. They were told to suck it up and be strong. Now we're gonna go to Black men. Black men, I feel like, not saying like every race go through a lot. But the black race is a lie. Who is the most targeted person or race of people in the entire world? Black men. Because the color of their skin. That is a form of abuse. And a lot of people don't know that. Because not only are they competing against one another, but they're also competing against the rest of society that doesn't accept them. Now, I'm going to bring this up because we didn't bring it up last time, but I'm going to bring it up. When the most dangerous thing for a mother is having a black son in this world. And it's because they know that their child is already targeted. So a lot of time in the black community, parents start to prepare their children for the society, right, Richard? Am I correct? And they start saying, don't talk back, don't do this and that. As a baby, how do you explain to a baby that you cannot defend yourself? That child will feel like, damn, I don't matter, right? And then that child's gonna grow up and feel like do you understand what I'm saying? So it's like a trigger, and that trigger, it just like escalate into something else. And I feel like these are the topics that we have to start opening. We have to start healing. And I feel like I know every race go through something. I'm not taking away from anybody, but I know for a fact that when it comes to abuse and society seem not to talk about it, is let's be honest, yes, the black race. But in the black race, the black men. The black men is the one that have to take be the punching bag of society. And I feel like it hurts. I feel like it makes them strong, but it makes them weak. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
It makes them strong, but it makes them weak. So how can we heal? How can we heal that? How can we, because we need to start. That's why I said, let's have the conversation. A lot of times abuse is not just a woman. It's variety of it. But I feel like if this topic is not brought up, then this is a type of abuse that the world seems to try to avoid or ignore, right? So I applaud a lot of groups that have brotherhood, because brotherhood do help, and it help with healing. But it's so many of our men that needs it. You know, I'm talking about even other race too, but I feel like in our community, it's like taboo. It's unheard of, right?
Like the help, talking about as far as the help, it's taboo. Oh yeah. It's definitely the lack of, it's the lack of first not wanting the help for one, and then second, the lack of not doing your research, because you know how many times you be like, oh, I didn't even know that was even around the corner, or this store was there, or they did that. Because for one, we're not doing our research for one, and then secondly, we just don't want the help.
We don't want the help. But why? That's why I say why that shouldn't be the norm, that we don't want the help. How can we break those chains? How can we start healing? Because people look at abuse as one thing, but the victim can be the abuser because of what they had went through too. And I feel like, because I'm tired of hearing a lot of women say that there's no good black men. I'm pretty sure you heard it. before. And a lot of time I feel like we don't talk about the trauma of what that person's going through. Not saying that it doesn't take away from what they have done, but I'm saying that something stirred that person up to being where they're at most of the time, right? And because of that, I feel like we that's why I'm bringing up these conversations. Is a very not comfortable conversation to have, but I feel like we need to bring it up. And I'll even go into the next one. I say, how can we seek the help? Like I say, brotherhood is definitely is definitely something that we need to do. But these young, like it got worse, right? Is it just me? It just seems like it got worse. Some of these children, because of the pandemic, it just seems like households start changing those stigmas, because it starts from home, right? Mm-hmm. It starts from home. So how do people, especially, I'm talking about especially black men, I mean, especially men, men in general, it starts from home. So if you're seeing abuse at home, how do you heal from that? It got to be different ways, because brotherhood doesn't always work, but something has to give. How do they start healing? How do they start? Do you understand what I'm saying, Richard? You know, the way I gotta tell, because the rest is not here. You probably don't. You probably like, what, Larissa?
No, I definitely get what you're saying. You saying you're basically asking if in that particular example, as far as trauma, we all deal with trauma. Let's acknowledge that, and the fact that there's a lot of unhealed trauma that we're all facing.
Yeah.
Particularly black men in general, again, because most of the time, you know, we grew up where our fathers, particularly my father, was around up until a good point. Maybe I want to say like living in the household, basically, probably age 8, 9.
Okay.
So 10. But after that, you know, pre-teen up, it was just a single parent home, you know. But as far as like abuse and stuff like that, seeing that, I believe men who've seen their mothers get abused by their fathers or vice versa, this is where it comes in, that what happens in this house stays in this house, and they kept it in for so damn long. Mm-hmm. And now when it's time for you to start dating a relationship, there it go. It's there. So you might still have that in you, like, I'm not gonna be an abuser, you know. So that's where it comes from, that unhealed trauma. Like, you know, you gotta get healed. You gotta know, just even when that's a whole nother topic, but I just think in terms of dating and stuff like that, I think all that stuff should be addressed. If you're going to take it seriously, you know what I'm saying? Like, it should be addressed, because, you know, and vice versa for the woman too. Like, definitely, you know, living at home, how does it look from the woman's perspective, growing up as a child, you know, seeing mom or dad getting abused, and now they're dating. So now, do they accept men hitting them, or are they the one that's doing the hitting? You know. So, and yeah, I have, you know, I remember when I first brought this up, I said, well, you know, personally, when it comes to relationships, I haven't been in an abusive relationship, but I have many friends that have, and most of the time, guys is getting verbally abused. It's not more so physical. Yeah. You know, but basically, you know, anytime you're in a relationship, you know, these are things that you got to talk about to the one you're trying to pursue with, because it can go to the left most of the times if it's not talked about. Yeah. You know, so to break that, you just got to talk about it. You got to talk about it. You got to talk about it. We got to get uncomfortable talking about these things.
And
you have to get uncomfortable to get comfortable.
So I remember, my cousin Kamel. Remember last time when he said, so a lot of men don't talk about their feelings, how they feel, because they were told that if you do that, you're soft. I hear that a lot, and I feel like those things that are enrooted in you, it have to change. Because when you're angry, you should be able to tell your partner why you're upset without your partner, because a lot of time, some women would say, oh, you acting soft, or you acting like a bee. When he's trying to express himself, and it makes the man feel a certain way. So because of bad relationships like that, they're afraid to express how they feel. But that's not healthy, because how do you start healing from that? And I'm even gonna tap on back in the days, and I remember a friend of mine had told me, and I ain't gonna say her age, but she's a little older, very mature and wise. And she told me that back in the days, they used to believe that if a man don't love you, then he won't hit. Then if a man loves you, he's gonna put his hands on you. And I said, what? Yes. I was like, what? And okay, remember Tina Turner, the movie? The mom. Remember the mom? I'm gonna try to get the episode. But she said that Tina was complaining to her mom about Ike, because Ike keep putting her hands up. And she called. So she took the kids and went to her mother's house. And her mother called Ike and told her husband where she was. And she remember her having a conversation with her mother. Her mother said, well, baby, or something like that. Like, if he don't love you, no, if he loves you, that's why he put his hands on you. I thought that was just, not saying that was just a movie, but for her to be an older woman, she say that. See, that needs to change. I mean, I'm pretty sure it had, but what kind of knowledge? What are we teaching?
Right. What type? First of all, I think that's a whole different generation. And, let's but I don't mean that, because I love my older and wisdom people. I love just getting wisdom in general. But that right there, that was something that it has some and I can be honest, it has some truth to it. Like, it has a little bit of truth.
What do you mean?
Not to say like, like I'm putting my hands on you every day, but and brother, please chime in, brother. I want your brother to chime in too.
Yeah, I want to hear this.
I just want to say, like, I think, like, you heard the slogan, love is pain. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I heard it.
Like, love is pain. I guess some men feel like, and I'm not saying it's just an everyday thing you do, but like, if somebody love you, you know what I'm saying? If y'all having an argument, I'm not gonna sit here and physically hit you. I'm gonna hold you, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm gonna walk away. Yeah, like something like that though. But like, we're not talking about slaps in the face and black eyes, you know what I'm saying? But that could be a signal of a trauma that man or woman didn't overcome. Period. That's a prime example why. But I think that slogan, if they don't put it, they didn't mean it,
in a physical way.
Exactly. I don't think they meant it like that. Right. There we go. That's what I'm trying to say. I think they just meant it from that.
It's a song about it too. I forgot. It's an old song. I remember. If I remember, I'm gonna send it to you. Yeah, it's an old song about it.
I think they were just saying like, me, that's showing my affection a little bit. Me putting my hands in you, but not speaking hypothetically, like literally fighting you and beating you up. We're not talking about that. Yeah.
I feel like some guys don't understand the memo of that. They physically, you see what Ike did. Because
yeah. Well, that was a whole domestic violence case, and that was a serious domestic violence case. But
exactly.
I'm not talking about that part.
I know.
But and so you're saying sometimes men try to express themselves, but the women shuts them down. Then I think you need to look at the woman you're with. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
A real woman gonna want you to express yourself. How about that? You know what I'm saying?
A real woman. And I'm gonna speak because I'm a real woman.
You're a real woman.
Yes, I would want and love, and I feel like it's a turn on for me. Because not every, okay, now I'm going to speak for some women. I'm not every, but some women, like, I know some women be like, oh, he's a B because, he don't do this and that. And some women do like a roughneck, right?
Yeah, right.
They say, oh, I want a roughneck, right? And then when they got the roughneck and they go through situation.
And they rough their neck.
Okay, that's not funny. But yes, if they rough their neck to the point that now they're in the hospital and something's happening, then they'll be like, oh, he's too hard on me. Or, he's too this and that. No. Sometimes, women, we need to be careful what we ask for. And I like a good man. I like a genuine guy. I like a kind guy, and I don't need the rough neck. I don't need this. When I was younger, yes, my mentality, because of the music I was listening to and what I was singing, it seems a little spicy in a relationship. No, spicy in a relationship is not good. And I feel like, and I spoke about teenager abuse. Remember before, but it's real, because when you're watching the news, the music channel, this and that, what they're teaching the kids is, this is the relationship you should be in. And back in the 90s, you remember how it is, that's a lot of stuff that happened. But it's very unhealthy. And I know some women that have good men and they don't know what to do with them. And then they lose that man. Yep. And then when they lose that man, then they're with a situation that now they're looking back at like, because you want a roughneck. Now you got a roughneck, and now he's taking your vehicle, he's taking your money, he's doing this and that. He ain't got a job. He waiting for you. All this stuff, and do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So we have to be careful what we wish for, because, and that's also beating down a man. Like, you're beating another human being down because they're genuine and they're compassionate and they want to do all this stuff, and then later on he take that to the next relationship and he's like, oh, I'm not going to be treated this way. Now he's become that person that he's not. And I see that in some men. I do. And I just be like, you don't have to, just because this person treats you like this doesn't mean the next person is going to. I always say treat that person the way you want to be treated. I'm gonna go into another topic, because you said that some friends who are going through verbal abuse and stuff like that. Do you guys have the conversation? Because a lot of time men don't like to always have that conversation with another man. Like, they feel like, because some friends will be like, oh, stop being a bee. Man, she don't do this, that. And this person might be hurting. And abuse comes in all type, verbal, mental, physical, yeah. Mm-hmm. And I feel like there's no, I'm glad that they can come to you and express how they feel without feeling a certain way. But some guys don't have their friends, and they don't have friends to say it's gonna be okay. you know, you shouldn't take that abuse. You know what I mean? But they look at it like, yo, man, you let your woman do this and that to you, and it's not right. You know, it makes them weak, and it makes them feel like, is something wrong with me? You do you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely. With that being said, them not your friends. You know, speaking hypothetically, but you know, my friends, you know, we are men who we can, if they have any issues, men talk, you know what I'm saying? I think women have woman talk, men should have men talk, you know what I'm saying? Because that's going to be, like I said, that I think that's needed, you know, and, we're very expressive. And then one thing I always tell my friends, I said, no matter what I say right now to you, you still got to make the decision. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not throwing I'm gonna give them my opinion in my suggestions, but I can't sit here and tell you this is what you need to do. A lot of times, and I don't know what's the saying, we talk to respond instead of talk to listen. Sometimes you just need an ear. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes like, they in the house, they got kids, it's COVID-19. Most of my friends is teachers, so they was teaching in the home for a very long time, and then they got their significant other, you know, in the house too, with kids. So all that's going on, and we in quarantine. Yeah. And let's just be honest, we all needed somebody to talk to during these times. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, with that being said, you know, we just catching up, talking, and then, you know, if they want to share what they want to share, because we trust each other. You got to have that trust first. Yeah. You got to trust the information outside your house. Because again, you know, we were always taught what happens in the house stays in the house until you find somebody to trust.
Exactly.
You know, you got to find that trust. I said, so we and my friends, we know each other very well. We got 10-year plus relationships. So, you know, you know your friends, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know when they holding something back, or they hurting, or they just want to say something but don't know how to say it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I just think you got to have that trust, and you got to know your friends, you know, and are they your real friends? Because a real friend gonna really try to suggest a key point to you that's gonna help you. A real friend ain't gonna sit here and be like, yo, like, no, man, like, what the hell you doing? Like, that's a sucker move, stuff like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, basically, how you say it. It's all how you say it. You know what I'm saying?
It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Yeah. And I would even say that because of the quarantine and stuff, they say that domestic violence went up really high, you know?
Yes.
And I feel like that's something that we need to address, because people... not saying that they're sick of their partners, but let's say that, you know, you're in this place that you can't really move in, especially if you're a person that you hold in so much, you know, that person can snap, and it can go on, you know, both ways, you know, women or men or whatever. But I feel like we definitely... They have the hotlines and stuff like that. And not saying that the hotlines are amazing, you know, they help and stuff like that. But what can you... We need to find a better resource to start healing. We need to find a better resource to start being okay with talking about these topics. And like, you know, like the domestic violence is very much... a taboo conversation, and especially when it comes to men, and that lead onto a lot of mental health issues. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna go into farther on mental health issues. I'm gonna wait. But Richard, I thank you for doing this. I mean, you're the only one that came. I don't know what happened with the two of them. Said they can't. You know, they were having a hard time.
I actually reached out to Khalid. He said, I told Larissa, like, I was still tied up and I'll try to get on. I said, she just mentioned that y'all was still going to come on. So that's why I reached out to him.
It's okay. Yeah, I know he's going to be on the next one. Yeah. And I sincerely apologize that a lot of the guys had a lot to say, and I dropped the ball because I thought I was recording and I didn't.
Yeah,
But
I see his recording. It's right at the top of my screen. Recording. So we got something good. We have something good.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I just want to shout out all the other brothers who couldn't make it on, but overall, everything starts from something that we either we were taught, we picked up, and something that we went through that we didn't heal from. And that's where it starts, all violence. And if it's not healed, it's going to keep traveling. It's going to keep, getting bigger. You're going to keep waiting yourself until you're going to pop, Then now it's you pop it. Now is a whole another level of, things going on, And let's just be honest. You think violence, it don't only affect you, it affect your family, especially the ones you live with, your friends, because now it's like, as a friend, if one of my brothers was to come to me and be like, you wasn't there, I'm like, you never reached out. And then I'm gonna slightly feel guilty, be like, well, damn, what could I done? Like, what I didn't pick up, what I didn't realize to help him, So with that being said, like, we are human by nature.
Yes.
We're supposed to communicate. We're supposed to go through and let people, because I'm an adult now. Of course, through our teenage years, we were taught these things, like, oh, like, don't say nothing. Like, that's not how, how it's supposed to be. Like, no.
I think it's a
now
pride.
I want to.
It's a pride. Like a lot of people have pride. And because of pride.
That was a big thing we said last time, right? Men carry a lot of pride. Now, pride comes in place between man versus man violence. That pride. Our testosterone, our pride. But in the Bible, it says, pride coming for a great fall. God is not going to work, And, we all have some type, even women too, we all have some type of pride. But sometimes you got to let your pride down. You got to put it to the side and you got to remain humble.
Yes.
We have to remain humble. That's the only way it's going to work, But yeah, talking about that pride, to me, that's the biggest thing that gets in the way when it comes to black men versus black men. Like, you can't even say what's up. Like, listen, I'm in the gym, like, I've been touching, like, I just kind of feel like,
Philly.
In Philly, right. Yep, you're right. In Philly, you already see my voice, though. But over the years, and it's not everybody, but I'm just saying in general, though. But over the years, I had to realize, like, damn, like, they really is some tough people here. Like, my little old happy, how you doing type self, they ain't responding, bro. So I gotta get right with them. So I'm like, But then I said this. I said I don't want, and I wanted to say to you said something earlier about when men go through dating and they feel like they not find the right one because they've been hurt. Don't let nobody change you.
Absolutely.
Don't let nobody change the real you, the genuine you. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, though, just because you know yourself, it could be some trauma that's blocking them from knowing themselves. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we can't let nobody change it. So, I am not letting, those things I saw in Philadelphia coming, being here change me. I'm still going to be a nice, talkative guy, but now I'm noticing like people are definitely like, let's just say like over this last year, COVID, it changed a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I just want to say like, it changed some things for the better too. Like, I know things wasn't all we know.
Yeah.
Many people passed. We know that. Many loved ones, friends, so many people in the healthcare profession, like people was committing suicide. This thing woke and took us apart collectively,
Absolutely.
And I tell people, I say, like, we can never be back. We can never be the same, never go back the same. No. That's a whole other topic because that's a whole other topic,
No,
but we can't.
Well, I'm not going to stop you because you have a lot of good stuff to say, and you're absolutely right. I want to say that, especially during the quarantine, I would say that life is too short, and you have to live your best life. And holding on to grudges and holding on to hate and holding on to, it makes us bitter. This is a time that you speak your truth. Yeah, you speak your truth, and you heal. Being in a bad relationship, man or woman, get out. Do what's best for you. heal. Life is too short. You know what I went through. I went through a lot. And I can definitely say that I don't regret it. Because it made me a better person. And I'm free of the things that was chaining me and stopping me from growing. And I feel like I pray that people understand it. Don't be in a situation that makes you miserable. Because the victim of abuse, and it could be verbal, mental, physical, anything, it's a chain. It's like it's keeping you away from being great. Mm-hmm. Find your escape. Grow. If you don't grow, you're gonna end up dying like the rest of them, and you can die in silence. And it doesn't mean that you have to be out of this world. People die inside. Yes. You can't allow that to happen. So you're right. COVID changed a lot of people. COVID changed a lot of people for the good. Mm-hmm. And people said blessing in the sky, and I know people are probably like, "What the heck?" But I'm just saying that it kind of is a root awakening, so people can start growing and start being great. So I definitely want to say that.
Pretty much, yeah. It was a new start for people. It opened up people's minds on taking life more seriously. I mean, like you said, and knowing that life is too short to hold on to regret. Life is too short. Like, let it go, grow, and grow. Like, grow.
Grow.
Like, go. Like, it's so much more in store if we just let go, Yeah. But yeah, thank you for having me. I think, this is all good mine. And I'm representing the guys that couldn't make it.
Exactly.
But it was a lot of good information the first time. I pray that this blesses somebody or blesses a guy.
Yeah.
Please note that there's a lot of organizations out here called Black Men Heal. They pretty big in the Philadelphia. Are you familiar with that group? Yes, a
little bit. And I remember Khalif was saying that he had one for the brothers. Remember, he was saying something.
Right. Did he? I know he's probably getting things together. So did he reach out?
People want to see him on the next one when we talk about it. Hopefully he can go more into it more and talk about it. Yeah.
I definitely on the for the mental illness one, I do have somebody else that I want to bring on. Named is George.
Absolutely. Yes.
So I definitely want to reach out to him, and once we set that date up, and for those who watching, going to watch this video, just know that there is help, and we are here for each other. Nobody is exempt from trauma. Nobody's exempt from needing help. Nobody's exempt. We're all if you're living, you're going to go through something.
Yep. It's in the word.
Yeah.
It's in the word.
Yeah. Even after Jesus was baptized, he was tested in the wilderness. He had to get tested too. So you're going to get tested. Nobody's exempt.
Yep. He took all our sin, but you're still going to be tested in this world. But thank you so much, Richard. Yes. You're awesome. And I'll say it like this. Everything happened for a reason. I'm glad because maybe you are supposed to be on. And maybe, what you say, not saying that, what the other guys say is very important. But, God works in mysterious ways. And I'm very happy and pleased with who I have on, and I know a lot of people can learn from it. And I can't wait till they meet the other guys because they have a lot to say too. And I know you're going to do it next time. But thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Let's really continue to lift up one another in prayer. This definitely has been like trying times for a lot of people. People are really hurting, and people are really hurting and going through, and they in silence. So,
gotta start healing.
Please seek help, professional help. Those hotline numbers, that's what they're there for. You got a friend that you can trust. Please reach out to them. Like, you are here for a purpose, and we want you to heal. We want you to get the help that you need. Men in particular, we want you to get the help. Do not suffer in silence. It's okay. Men cry too.
Yes.
Real men cry.
Real men cry. I know that's right. Thanks, Richard. Appreciate it.
Yup, blessings.
And I will definitely send you a copy, but I'm putting this on Outside the Box with Lala so that they know. I send you the link too. So.
Oh, this going on YouTube?
It's going on YouTube.
It's on YouTube. I'm going to YouTube. All right. And again, shout out to the birds that couldn't make it. You know, we looking out for the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful day.
All right, have a good one.
See you, Richard.
See you.